Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Ralph Marche used to work for the Veterans Administration with Handicap Warriors. He had the idea of getting them out of their home and outside for some physical activity. Hard to believe where that brought us today. Let's hear more.
I worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I had a knock on my door from a disabled veteran who was also a skier. His name was Tony Santilli. He said, "Hey Ralph, how come, we've got mountains here, we've got veterans here, we've got snow here. Why do I have to go to Colorado to go to a disabled veteran ski event?" I looked at him and said, "Tony, I don't know why." And then the journey led us to Mount Sunapee, New Hampshire. At that point, we met with Lou Peroni, who was the president of the board of directors at the time, and Amy Lane, who's now Amy Toohey. And they welcomed us with open arms and sat there and brought us in, and they made a home for our veterans, and they made everybody feel so much better. The cry went out afterwards for, well, what are we doing next year? So we've started doing it then, and we've done it now for 23 consecutive years. We're coming up on year 24. We're now doing a fundraiser to make sure that that happens, even with the COVID, and we're working towards making sure that we have lessons for veterans the week of January 11th through 15th. It really is a healing event. We really have found a number of times that veterans have come up with great gains that suffered from PTSD or physical disabilities, because it's a transferable skill. If they can do this, they can do anything. So they sit there and they go home and move on with their lives, and it really is a life-changing activity. We had one veteran who was living in a nursing home at 72 years old, bilateral amputee, both legs missing. He said, I never thought I'd ski with no legs at 72 years old. At the end of the second day, we were on the top of the hill, and Frank looked at me and said, if I can do this, I don't need to live in a nursing home. He moved back home with his wife. Again, we changed that man's life. We've had other veterans that said this was the first time since they've been in combat that they felt welcome. The instructor that was with him said, "Welcome home, soldier, welcome home," and they both broke down crying. This is the kind of healing that happens on the hill with our veterans. One year there's at least one story with every veteran that we have. It started with 10 veterans, and now it's up to 60 veterans. But we've grown, and we now have programs that are going on weekly with things like White River Junction, and we have programs with veterans that come up on weekends or other events. We have a Welcome Home Veterans. We have a Women Veteran Specific Ski Day for women that it started out for women that had suffered from military sexual trauma, and to address that issue, we have no males around, because it was important for them to have just females to share their experiences with, and to share that reconnection of community, that peace on the mountain, that nature connection, and physical activity as well. So when I first started out here, the program was only in the winter, and it started in October and ended in April. But when Tom Kersey came on board as the executive director, he implored that the board of directors open it up to a full-time position and a full-time year-round program. At that point, we entered kayaking, which was still in its very beginning stages, and it has evolved so much that we can now get somebody who's a pretty much very high-level quadriplegic out on the water independently paddling their kayak with some of the adaptive equipment that's come around. It's amazing. And we looked into seeing what name changes could be done, and we really like the NESA kind of identity. So we just changed the handicap to healing, because we really feel that that's what we focus on, is not the disability but the ability. So we want to focus on what's the healing part of the sports, and we really do focus on that. And we're a member-based organization, so we're always open to members to come up. Our clients are members, our volunteers are members, I am a member. You're welcome to join as a member. That's one of the ways you can sit there and support our organization is becoming a member. We love volunteers and we love to help more people with disabilities. So come up and be a member. And we also have some generous supporters out there and some people that have made donations for our cause to get people access to these wonderful resources in the Sunapee area. If you want more information about membership, volunteering, or sponsorship of our programs and our mission, please visit our website.
Nicely done, Ralph. There are some good lessons for all of us for becoming more active.